Hi everybody, it's Nunu and I am here with you in our assignment about student success statistics. Now we have two parts to this assignment. We have two due dates, so you will see this assignment listed twice in your calendar. Now the first due date for part 1 is November 1st. That is a Sunday. We have either an essay or a Google Slides presentation about student success statistics. You can take your choice. So you have two options. The essay, which is 4 pages, 1,000 words, or a Google Slides presentation. Now on November 8th, we have a due date as well for part 2, and November 8th is a Sunday, and this is the due date for the peer evaluations. All right, let me survey this assignment with you. Okay, so what do we have here? We have under our click here icon, we have the discussion rubric. This is how I will evaluate this assignment. You are familiar with the discussion rubric. I post it in every writing assignment. Okay, below it is the academic star tip. I hope you'll click on this link and pick up or review some useful English usage. Oh, wow, I really twisted that. Let me try it again. English usage skills. Information, and that is in the academic star tip. Now on Monday we have a Zoom for this assignment. It begins at 6 p.m. and Monday of course is October 26, 2020. I hold the Zoom every Monday and it's optional, but I hope you'll join us. The meeting ID and the passcode for this Zoom is right there. Okay, now we have our part 1 and we have our part 2. Part 1, just below this video that you're watching here, is the essay or Google Slides presentation due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, November 1st, and it's worth 100 points. Okay, let me read the directions with you. Let me move myself safely over here, I think. Okay, so number 1, in weeks 1 and 2 of this class, I had you read this kind of statistical overview about the U.S. public education system, which I compiled from the sources listed below. These are the sources. Read the statistical overview very carefully, really studying the information it contains. And let's click on this statistical overview. So this is all the information I presented to you at the very beginning of the semester and then some. So read it over very carefully. Study it, okay? So that is the first direction here, reading. Okay, the second direction, on the internet, conduct some research on your own about the information in the statistical overview, and of course you have a link to it here and here and here. Try to find out why so many students in the U.S. public education system are not academically successful. Listed below are some sources that can help you. And these are the sources that I listed. If you decide to look at this information, that's great, but I'd also like you to conduct some research of your own, okay? Look for credible, trustworthy sources that seem that they have expertise in this topic of the public education system. Now, I particularly recommend that you become acquainted with the information in numbers 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 below right here, and I've highlighted them, and click here to find out why. Okay? Now, number 3, do either A or B. A is the Google Slides presentation, and B is the 1,000-word essay, which is 4 pages with a variety of paragraphs. You're going to do one or the other. Take your choice, okay? Now, the directions for both of these assignments, the essay and the Google Slides, they're the same, but I'm going to read them to you. And in them, you'll be doing the same 3 things. Now, create a Google Slides presentation with at least 10 slides, or write a 1,000-word essay, 4 pages with a variety of paragraphs. In each of these, do 3 things. First, prove that U.S. student success rates are low. Identify and briefly summarize credible, trustworthy sources that confirm that many secondary schools are high schools, and post-secondary schools, those are colleges and universities, have low student success rates. So where are you going to find that information? It's right here in the statistical overview. It's all there for you. Okay, scrolling down, to our second part of these directions. Explain how schools in the public education system are funded and how these funds may not be sufficient and may be misused. For example, how much money does Los Angeles Unified School District receive per student, and how does LAUSD spend this money? And if an LAUSD school in Brentwood is better than one in Compton, then explain why it is better. So a source that will help you in answering this question is Financing California's Public Schools. This is number 4. It's one of the highlighted sources that I recommend that you read. And you can also conduct additional research about how the schools are funded, how LAUSD is funded, and how the school boards and administrators spend this money. Okay, that would be important information for you to become very familiar with, because funding is really important. If you notice that a school in Brentwood, which is an upper class area, and let's say a school in Van Nuys, they seem very different, that the Brentwood one seems superior to the one in Van Nuys, then you want to find out about funding, because funding is super important. Okay, now our third part of these directions, discuss steps that can be taken to increase student success rates in the public education system. What can all the players in the U.S. public education system, politicians, those are the people, men and women, who hopefully for us fight for money for public school funding, school boards decide how to spend this money, school administrators, they run the schools, they're very important, and especially teachers, students, parents, what can these players do to increase student success rates? So this information is super important. Now, here is a how-to quick tutorial for new Google Slides presentation that you can watch to learn how to do a Google Slides. If you haven't done one before and you'd like to have the opportunity to do one, then take that opportunity. Or you can write the essay. Now, we have a fourth part to these directions right here. Below your Google Slides presentation or 4-page essay, post a works cited that includes the sources listed below numbers 1 and 2. So numbers 1 and 2. Here's number 1. These are all these sources, and there are links to all these sources embedded in these titles. And number 2, here are all the sources here, and they also have links to all of these sources. Okay. So add to this works cited any sources that you found on your own, and I do want you to find some sources on your own. Look on the internet and see what you find, okay? You can use the citation generator here in this link to help you to create your works cited. Now I'm going to click on the citation generator, and this is from Purdue University, the Purdue Online Writing Lab, OWL, the OWL. It's one of the best on the internet. And look, you can just put right here the URL address of the sources to have the works cited citations automatically generated. And how cool is that? That's pretty neat. I would have loved that back in the days when I thought an erase ribbon on a typewriter was pretty cool. Okay, so put an asterisk, this little star, after sources you plan to use in your term paper at the end of the semester about causes and solutions to low student success rates in the U.S. public education system. So those are our directions. If you have any questions or concerns, you know what you can do. You can come here to inbox and you can message me and I'll respond to you. Or the Monday Zoom for this assignment begins at 6 p.m. on October 26, 2020, and I'll be there waiting for you. And hopefully you will join in that Zoom session every Monday night. Okay, so I hope this video was useful to you, and I hope to see you in Zoom.